Now, if you haven't heard already, established titles is a scam that a lot of YouTube creators have been promoting recently. Full disclosure, I was working on a video on this topic, but I have shelved that because a couple other YouTubers beat me to the punch and made very nice, succinct videos discussing this entire topic, and I will link to those below. But long story short, established titles is a shell company for Galton Voicey, which is a company based out of Hong Kong. Through established titles, you're able to purchase plots of land in Scotland, which would then allow you to use the title of Lord or Lady on your official documentation. This is based off of an old Scottish tradition that any landowner is considered a lord or a lady. Now that's the first issue with established titles. Scotland has come out many times in the past saying that these souvenir plots hold no merit and do not give you the right to use the titles of Lord or Lady. The Court of the Lord line has even had to make a statement in the past saying, ownership of a souvenir plot of land is not sufficient to bring a person otherwise ineligible within the jurisdiction of the Lord line for seeking a coat of arms. So basically, just because you own a single square foot of land somewhere in Scotland does not make you a lord or a lady. And yet, established titles will gladly sell you a PDF certificate for $50 to accomplish just that. Or in case you wanted to buy 5 square feet of land, which by the way does not change the status or hierarchy of your titles, it's only $209. Now the reason I'm still making this video even though a ton of people have already covered it is because A, I think it's important to spread the word about this scam and to hold creators accountable, and B, I have a little bit of extra insight into this sponsorship that I have not seen mentioned anywhere else. That's because back on October 5th of this year, I was contacted by a representative from Audiensely, which is a company that contacts creators with possible sponsorship opportunities. They were pitching established titles at the time and were willing to pay me $3,500 for a single 60-second ad integration. Now, whenever I get a sponsorship offer, I go out of my way to either download the product, test the product out, or at the bare minimum, do some research into what I'm promoting. Legitimately, within 2 minutes of looking this thing up, I found articles talking about how it's a scam, forum posts discussing how it's a scam, and groups of people complaining that they got scammed. So it was a very easy decision to send out an email declining the offer. Now don't get me wrong, $3,500 is a lot of money for a sponsorship like this, and it sucks to have to turn it down. But at the same time, I feel the relationship I've built with my audience over the years is much more important than that. So I sent a reply back to the representative that originally contacted me and said, hey, I feel like this is a scam and I don't feel comfortable promoting this. And when they responded, they really did not seem too concerned with the accusation I just floated. More than anything, they seemed disappointed that I was turning down the offer at that point. She said, that's unfortunate to hear, but thanks for letting me know. We already have a few successful bookings and the client is willing to spend a lot of money for their influencer marketing. So I wouldn't be surprised if Audiensely had been told before that this might be a scam because they seemed very quick to brush it off just because they wanted to get their hands on a cut of that sweet, sweet sponsor money. So I turned down the offer at the time. I moved on with my life. I had no idea this was going to become a huge YouTube scandal, yet here we are. So the first time I actually saw this brand in a YouTube video outside of the initial offer was the October 12th episode of the Philip Defranco show. And when I saw that first ad read, you know, my heart fell into my stomach because I'm such a fan of Philip Defranco and you don't want to see your favorite creator falling into that trap. So I tried to leave a comment on the video basically saying, hey, this company that you're sponsored by is possibly a scam and you might want to look into that a bit more. Within the first 5 or so minutes, the comments started to gain traction with 50 or so likes, you know, it was slowly making its way up the comment section. And yet when I went back a few minutes later to check on it, it was gone. I was like, there's no way they are actually deleting my comments for pointing out they're promoting a scam. But since I have multiple YouTube channels, I just logged into a different channel and left a similar comment pointing out the scam. And the same exact thing happened. Within 4 minutes, the comment was magically deleted. And on top of that, both my channels were shadow banned from commenting on any of his videos. So I initially blew the whistle on this whole scam the same night. On Twitter, I made a thread documenting videos of my comments being deleted, trying to get Phil's attention and say, hey, either you or whoever runs your channel is currently deleting comments, making you 100% complicit in whatever this scam is. And surprising no one, I got no response, and he continued to use them as a sponsor for the next month. An important update to this situation: over the past couple days, as this whole scam saga has blown up on YouTube, Phil actually reached out to me on Twitter. He was very courteous and apologetic. I told Phil that I would not share our private messages, and I fully stand by that, but what I can tell you is that on top of them cutting all ties with established titles, Philip Defranco was not the person deleting my comments, and he's also conducting an internal investigation to make sure this never happens again. And truthfully, I believe him. In our conversations, he seemed nothing but kind and sincere, so I really, really hope that nothing like this happens again. Because that sets a terrible precedent that a YouTuber could be unknowingly promoting this scam to millions of people, yet they'll never find out because all the comments telling them it's a scam have already been deleted. Now there's a list of YouTubers out there who've gotten caught up in this scam, and after like 2 to 3 days, only a handful of them have actually cut ties or made any statement whatsoever. And I understand it's probably difficult for those creators because they're still technically under contract, and I guarantee there's some non-disparagement clause in that contract, but luckily, I'm not under contract, so I can plainly say Established Titles is a scam. This Scottish company is actually based out of Hong Kong. They claim to own plots of land in Scotland, which, even if that's true, does not give them the right to sell it, to give out the titles of Lord and Lady. On top of that, they claim to plant a tree for every single purchase that's made, which is equally dubious of a claim because they have never provided a single shred of evidence that they've ever planted a single tree. Now, I posted something to Twitter last night that I ended up deleting because it was getting a lot of hate, but it's something I've been thinking about all day, so I still want to share it with you. The thought I had was that any creator who fell for this scam should not be in the position to accept sponsorships, and I'll explain that. It took me a maximum of 5 minutes to look up the company and find out it was a scam, which means all these creators blindly accepted this sponsorship without looking into it. Now, people have been saying, oh, you know, my partner manager is the one who brings me sponsors, and I assumed they vet the sponsors, and so by the time they get on my desk, they're all good to go. And I find that equally concerning because that means you're putting your blind trust into a person who has the financial incentive for you to take this deal, and then not putting any of your own research into it. I honestly think that if you didn't put any effort into researching this product that you were supposed to be promoting and just carelessly accepted the sponsorship deal, you should not have the privilege of promoting products to your audience of millions. I know it's a hot take, but if you're so hands-off in this process that you're willing to promote a mystery product to your young, impressionable audience, that privilege should be taken away. Now, over the next couple days, I'm sure you'll hear a bunch of your favorite creators saying that they have cut ties with Established Titles and nothing is more important than your trust, but I think if that were true, they wouldn't have taken the sponsorship in the first place. So a note to creators: personally research every single sponsorship opportunity you take, because sponsors are a privilege, and we should not take advantage of that privilege at the expense of the very people who got us to where we are. And to viewers like you, be skeptical. Do not just listen to everything your favorite creator says, because sometimes they don't have your best interest in mind. That's all I have to say on the topic. I'm sorry this video is kind of off topic. We'll get back to the funny haha videos soon. Thank you guys for listening. Until next time, be kind to one another, stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.